we gonna have a good time and keep you in the know. Let all your trouble go. In the know, in the know, in the know. In the know, in the know, in the know. In the know, in the know, in the know.
God is so good. Hello, Jacksonville, and those of you that are listening all over the world via the Victory Station app. Listen, if you don't have that app downloaded, I want you to stop what you're doing right now. Open up your apps. Hopefully you're using Apple phones, because those are the best phones. And download the app so that you cannot miss any of our programming, especially the In the Know radio show that happens live in the studio every Saturday from 1 to 2 p.m. And I am so happy to be back with you guys on today on this beautiful Saturday. Listen, fall has finally arrived in Jacksonville, Florida. Now we're feeling a little summerish right now too, but it's finally feeling like the holidays. I don't know if you're like me, but I tell you, the holidays felt like they needed to get here quickly because here we are just a few days away from Thanksgiving season and we got to get this cooking going. So I'm going to help you guys out today. I have an incredible guest that's in our studio. She is a dear friend of mine. I actually had the honor of being her daughter's teacher a long time ago. We have some special memories together, but let's go ahead and get into it. So today I have executive chef Celestia Mobley. Chef Celestia began her professional career in 1987. Her love for food, family, and community led her to follow her dreams to become an entrepreneur with 2 successful restaurants. In 1987, I didn't know this, in 1987, she opened a seafood restaurant named La Jopis.
Love, joy, peace.
Oh my goodness. Love, joy, peace. That specialized in Jacksonville, Florida's specialty garlic crabs. Okay, turn up for the garlic crabs. It's always a good weekend when those are on the menu. After a year in business, she sold it and went to work at the Potter's House Soul Food Restaurant as executive chef and general manager. Over the span of 20 years, she transformed a small 900 square feet cafe into 2 5,000 plus square feet, extremely busy, nationally known and popular restaurants, a food truck and catering company. In 2017, Chef Celestia ventured out and opened up Celestia's Coastal Cuisine, specializing in local seafood. You may also remember Jazzy's. Oh my goodness, what an incredible spot that we used to hang out at. Chef Celestia's education and accomplishments include the following. Here we go. It's a long list, so buckle up. Culinary management degree, Florida State College of Jacksonville, 2002. Certified executive chef with American Culinary Institute in 2007. Certified chef evaluator with American Culinary Institute in 2012. Certified marine mariner with the United States Coast Guard in 2022. Owner of Celestia's Coastal Cuisine beginning in 2017 and owner of Jazzy's Restaurant and Lounge in 2019. Cookbook author of Southern Goodness in 2015. Contestant on the Food Network's Guys Grocery Games in 2017. And James Beard Boot Camp participant Captiva Island 2018. Ladies and gentlemen and children of all ages, wherever you are, clap it up, stamp it up for my friend, Miss Celestia, Chef Celestia.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Are you gorgeous?
Great.
Oh my goodness.
So wonderful. I'm so wonderful. This is my favorite time of year.
Yes.
So I'm happy.
It's a busy time of year for you too.
Very busy.
Listen, I told her during the break, I am so grateful that God has given me the favor that he's given me because I didn't have as much time to plan my guest for today, but I knew in my heart I wanted someone who would be able to give us some tips on how we can get a head start for Thanksgiving and for Christmas. Because listen, we like to eat. The gifts are all good, but let's be real. When it's time to eat, we want to be excited about what is getting ready to be prepared. And so we have Jacksonville's finest in the studio between running her restaurants right now. So listen, this is a golden opportunity for all of you out there that are listening. Get your pen and paper or get your recorder going. That way you can get some of those tips. But thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Oh my goodness.
I love you.
I love you too. Okay, we're not going to do this. We're not going to do this. But But Miss Celeste, where are you from? Are you from Jacksonville?
Jacksonville, Florida.
Duval, turn
Duval.
up. Duval has so many great celebrities in the city. And I can't say anything other than that because of the quality of the person's vocation, how broad your influence has been, and just the daily impact that you're making in food is really notable. And so I just want to give you your flowers right now and say thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for staying in our city because you could have gone a lot of places. I'm sure with this resume, there were a lot of offers that were given that you could have taken advantage of.
I love it here.
Yes, but you are here. And so I see here that you got into food because your family and community. Was there any particular dish that kind of was like that light bulb moment that said, you know what, this is something that I want to do?
There wasn't a particular dish. I was a greedy child.
Ooh.
I love to eat. So anything that I like to eat, I would learn how to cook. So I can't say there was anything in particular because I like everything.
When did you start cooking as a child?
About 8.
Wow.
Yeah.
And what were you cooking at 8?
Everything.
Okay,
8,
give me some
9.
specifics.
You know, that sounds very young, but my mom was one of those ones who worked from morning to night. She worked at Prudential. Prudential.
Yes.
And so I had to cook for me and my sister. So a lot of it was stuff that I could put in the oven.
Okay.
TV dinners and things like that. So
Okay.
I wasn't cooking a whole lot.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I was cooking.
When did you start cooking on the stove? Like the real preparation.
Maybe about 9.
9,
Not
so
too
next
much,
year.
Yeah, not too much longer. I was cooking. My mom would show me, and like I say, if I wanted to eat it, I would
figure
learn.
this out.
Yeah.
Now, did you learn by like reading the ingredients, or were you just like looking over mom's shoulder while she was pregnant? A little bit of both, maybe.
A little bit of both.
Okay.
Yeah, but mostly with mom.
Okay.
And then the big things like dressing and stuff like that, grandmama.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's not the dressing, the potato salad. I think that's the first thing that I started learning in terms of Thanksgiving, because it was so laborious. You had to boil the potatoes, you had to peel the potatoes, you had to cut the potatoes, you had add the celery, add the mayonnaise, make sure the consistency. So it was kind of a long, process.
Right.
But to be a part of it and to see the finished product and everybody's, response to it is so gratifying. I'm hoping those of you that are listening, you might be in the same position that I'm in. I love to eat, but I don't like to cook. Okay, I do not like to cook.
That's why I'm in business.
But yes,
Thank
but
you.
I know that there's a part of me that can improve on what I'm already doing. And so I'm just hoping that some of this motivation will just continue to inspire me during this season. I'm feeling very optimistic about it. Very optimistic. So it's the holidays. People have probably put in their orders. I know you chatted that you have quite a few things to fulfill already. Yes. So those of us who may not be putting in orders and you really want to try to contribute to the dinner, let's talk about a couple things that we can do practically just to kind of help us feel like we really did something this year. So what are the most important things to consider when planning a holiday menu that is hopefully a little stress-free, but we can enjoy?
Well, first of all, know your audience, know who you're cooking for, and know what they like, and prepare. Start early. A lot of things can be done 2 or 3 days earlier, and then like the main thing, like your turkey, the night before.
Okay.
But everything else started early.
What are some of those things that we can start a little bit early?
Potato salad, as
Okay.
you mentioned, collard greens,
Okay.
or greens or whatever, kale, whatever you like. Sweet potato casserole or candied yams. All of that can be done.
I'm getting hungry
in 2
just
days. Pretty much everything. I like to cook like the meats. Like my turkey, I want it to come out that day. I don't want to have to refrigerator and reheat it.
Right.
It's not as good.
Yeah,
So
kind of dries it out a little bit.
But everything else, start early.
Okay. How do you like to prepare your turkey? I know nowadays grilling it is really popular. Frying it is popular. So there's different types of, methods that people use. What is your favorite?
My favorite is brining. Once I started brining my turkey, it totally changes the texture.
Okay, so the
It's
terms, all of that.
Brining is like a salt water based type thing, and you submit your turkey in it, and it stays in there 2 or 3 days.
Okay.
And because the salt and the water and any other spices or oranges or lemons, anything that you put in that water kind of absorbs in the turkey.
Oh.
And then the salt makes the meat more tender.
Okay.
And it's not that chalky. You know how turkey can be.
Absolutely. You got to get the gravy on there just to make it a little bit more, chewable.
It's smooth when you do it that way. And so I do this one turkey where I brine it in like lemons and oranges. I do a lemon pepper turkey.
Oh.
It's really, really good.
That sounds good.
And I do fried turkey.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, now is this something people can order? Or this is a home cook.
But I am having a big thing at Celestia's, and I invited a lot of friends and family, and I allowed them to bring somebody that's in need.
Oh, I love
so
that. We'll talk more about that in a minute. We'll talk more about. Brining. Okay, so that's a new method. Of those of you that are like me, some of you that are listening are not like me. You're like, this girl don't know about brining. I didn't know, but now I know about brining.
Try it. Once you do it, you'll never go any other way.
It seems like there's endless possibilities too of what type of seasonings you can add into it for that flavor. So brining. All right, Tam, you watching brining? Okay, here we go. Next one. How can home cooks accommodate guests with specific dietary restrictions and still kind of keep in with some of those, those flavors of foods?
Yeah, like vegans. And
yeah. I know that can be a little hard.
Yeah, because most of the things that we cook have meat in it. Even the vegetables we put. Now I put just smoked turkey, but ham hocks and a lot of things that people put in there. I had them bring their own food. No, I'm serious. Nobody trying to do all that.
Listen,
no,
it's a family affair, and but you know what? To your point, that kind of so we talk about stress, right? So we can eliminate the stress, and we can open up that conversation with that guest and say, you know what? Why don't you bring us that type of meal or that side that would normally be with the beef? Because I have a friend that she's able to make a lot of vegan types of foods.
That's really good.
That are really good. And so those of us who aren't there, it may even open up the door for us to consider how we can edit our meals a little bit to make them a little bit more healthy. So have them to bring.
Right. And if most of the people there are vegan, then I would say just do your vegetables. Don't put any meat in it. Just use vegetable broth to elevate the flavor. So.
What about those who need like low sodium type foods? Like, is there any way to prepare a food and then when they get it, they can add?
And that's when you use a lot of onions and garlic.
So use those vegetables.
Yes, and then
natural seasoning.
Citrus, lemons adds a flavoring that's similar to salt. So just do things and taste it.
Yeah.
Make sure you taste it and make sure that it's still flavorful without the salt. You don't have to. There's a lot of seasonings like Mrs. Dash and Tabitha Brown seasoning. All of those have very low sodium or no sodium.
And I would even say have the conversations early, especially those of you who may have those dietary restrictions and, kind of determine whose home is it going to be at, who's in charge of what. That way there isn't any conflict when it comes to like this time of year because we're just about 4 or 5 days away from Thanksgiving. So for Christmas, if the conversations haven't already taken place, that's something that can happen later. That way we can decrease any type of stress or, conflict during the meal. And we don't want that.
Right, and as far as sodium, I would say just really limit your sodium and let people add their own salt. They can add it, at the table. Like at restaurants, I try to limit my sodium, but most of my customer base wants their food seasoned. Gotcha. So,
understood that. What are some budget-friendly tips for grocery shopping when preparing for large holidays? I don't know, that's a little bit tough right now.
I don't know if I can name a place, but right now they have turkeys for 49 cents a pound. I bought a huge turkey for $9.
Okay.
So just shop around. Go to some of the like Sam's Club. I don't know, if that's Sam's Clubs and different places like that.
Okay.
And Publix is the one that has it for 49 cents a pound.
And probably thinking about again how many people are going to be there, how much do they normally eat? Like because groceries are so expensive right now. It's
everything is expensive.
Yeah.
Everything. Even butter now is like $6 a pound. Wow. So it's kind of like I would say have someone, everybody bring a dish that'll help out some.
Yeah.
Because it's hard when you have to prepare everything.
Right.
So if
Right.
you just like say, okay, well, you bring the yams, or you bring the collards,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll prepare the meats.
Because I know even in that type of scenario, some people still do meal for their own home. Like people come together collectively with the family, but then when they go home, they that's what my mom used to do. We used to have our own little mini Thanksgiving.
Right. Yeah.
So that way, we have something for the house.
Right.
So it's almost that double, cost factor that some people are having to, make a determination of.
Right.
But what would you say are some staple pantry items that we should just have whenever we're preparing our meals? And I'm talking spices or vegetables. Just, I know one of my friends came over. She said, "Friend, where your spices at? Where you see?" I said, "They right there." She said, "Oh, okay." Now, I'm not trying to make myself look bad. I have more than salt and pepper, chef. I have more than salt and pepper. But I am open. I'm in this new, curiosity of cooking. And I do know I have to watch it just for my own sake, my cholesterol, because it's not the best. So I have to be mindful as the types of things that I eat and the way that I prepare. So what would you say? But I like good tasting food too.
Right.
That's the catch.
All right.
I loved it. I'm like you.
Well, I'm not going to talk about the healthy. I'm just going to talk about what I would have in my pantry all the time.
All right.
It's going to be salt, pepper, of course. Seasoning salt. Lawry's seasoning salt. I always have. Accent. I know a lot of people don't like the MSG. I use accent. Chicken base, which is kind of like bouillons you can have, but I get commercial, like a commercial chicken base.
Okay.
That adds flavor to everything, and that's like my number one seasoning.
I'm writing my list down, y'all. I don't know if y'all are, but I'm writing my
And
list.
then Slap Your Mama. I love Slap Your Mama.
I've heard that.
That's like a Cajun type. And then Obey. I would say that's what
Definitely
I always
Obey.
have. Because I like seafood. I mostly eat just seafood. So that's pretty much what.
What's your favorite holiday dish? Some of these dishes, especially in the African American community, it's just Sunday dinner. It's Sunday dinner elevated. But sometimes on the holidays, it's like that French onion casserole, which I don't.
Green bean casserole.
The green bean casserole with I feel like that's a holiday dish that people just feel like that's.
Yeah.
What are some dishes that you that you like?
Oh, my green bean casserole. That's not one of them.
Scratch that out.
Cornbread dressing. But let me tell you, the one I love the most is my mother's oyster dressing.
Oh, that sounds good.
When I say it's so good.
Oyster dressing. Okay.
And I said, Mama, you got to show me how to make it, because maybe, I hate to think that maybe one day you're not here to make it.
Yes, yeah.
And she's like, I don't feel like making it. You gonna make that
Have
dressing.
to make it.
So that's my favorite. Thanksgiving is not Thanksgiving, or Christmas is not Christmas without dressing. Some people call it stuffing.
Yeah.
But I like dressing.
I like dressing too. I like that term better. Because stuffing just seems like you're just eating too much. So do you have any creative holiday dishes for the leftovers, or things that we can do with the leftovers?
Oh, my favorite is turkey pot pie. I'm gonna have some turkey pot pie. And it's easy. You just take some like cream of mushroom soup and you add a little something to it, some carrots, celery, and just put a store-bought crust on top of it, and it just comes out really. That's my favorite leftover dish.
So do you just put the leftover turkey in there, or do you kind of do
Leftover
some of
turkey.
the okay?
Just
okay.
leftover turkey.
Because I guess because some of the sides, I mean, it's really not much that you would do with the sides.
No, I never really do anything with the sides.
More than meat.
Yeah, it's more just the turkey, because you usually have so much turkey left.
What about ham? Anything else we could do with the leftover ham besides sandwiches?
You can do omelets, ham and cheese omelets. I don't really do ham too much.
Okay.
So it's hard. Ham makes my head hurt.
Sodium.
A lot of people are not doing ham as much. Like even this time, I mentioned the family thing I'm doing. I just bought a small ham.
Yeah.
Because I know not many people are going to eat it.
Yeah. So honey baked ham may not be, and
Now, I do like honey baked ham.
Right. So that's the one that I'm gonna say. I wonder if honey baked ham is still getting.
You ain't gonna have no leftovers with it. It's gonna be the first to go.
And I would say that's a holiday.
Yeah,
That's a holiday part of the meal
that
for
and
sure.
chitlins.
That Oh,
Lord.
okay, we're going to talk about those after the break. We're getting ready to have a quick break. I tell you, this show goes so quickly. The conversation is always so incredible. If you're just now tuning in, we have Chef Celestia Mobley, who is the owner of Celestia's Coastal Cuisine. I'm sure you have been there and had her food, but if you have not, we're going to make sure that you get there because she's going to give us all the information. But I always ask my guests, what are some inspirational songs? Because most of my guests are entrepreneurs or business owners, they're doctors, they're doing things that are really high levels of importance and just a lot of responsibility. And we understand that whenever we're leading, we always need to be reminded of where our source of strength comes from. And so one of the songs, I love this song, was Fred Hammond's Hear My Cry.
Oh my gosh.
Why is that one of your go-tos?
It's something about this song that always just gives me so much comfort. And whenever I'm going through anything, I will play it over and over and over, and I will cry over and over again. But it has got me through some things.
Ooh, but those tears though, that's what he needs. Because he says he stores those tears in bottles to bring you joy later. So enjoy after the quick break. Fred Hammond's Hear My Cry.
Unlock the power of your voice and capture your sound in just 2 hours. Hi, I'm Michellita.
You funny! Hey everybody! Hey Artisha!
You so easy. That's Artisha.
She on here. Hey Tam! Don't be saying shame on me, Tam. I'm gonna surprise the people this year with my cooking for Christmas, Thanksgiving. We too late for Thanksgiving. We too late, but Christmas we gonna do some stuffing. I'm gonna try this oyster. I like crab stuffing, like the crab and the shrimp.
I do the crab stuffing.
I'm
My
gonna
mom
try
does the
that.
oyster. Crab and shrimp, seafood stuffing.
I'm gonna challenge myself to do the seafood stuffing. I've made a turkey a couple times, but again, because it's so much meat, it's just you don't
do a lot of meat.
Well, I don't do a whole turkey. I like to eat like you. I love to eat. My nickname used to be UCBG.
What that mean?
UCBG.
You see.
Undercover big girl. They gave me that when I worked over at the Potter's house. I ate. They're like, where is the food going? And thank you, God is good for the jeans.
Yes.
But I loved, and my plate would always be overflowing, and I would go back for seconds and thirds. But when it came to cooking, it just, my mom, she did her thing. I overlooked her many times in the kitchen, but there was never, like in some families, like, okay, it's your age, it's time for you to start. So I know how to do the sides, but the meats are the things later in life that I'm like, I need to really kind of hone in on and perfect.
And one thing about it, it doesn't change. So you can meats. Once you get it, you get it.
You get it.
Yeah.
It's just
Like
once
I got grinding, I'm telling you.
So that's the thing I have to work on. I get it, but it's continuing to do it. Because the spans of time for when I do it again, it's like, what do I buy? Thankfully, I have great friends that can cook, can really cook. But I mean, I can cook to keep you alive. I'll tell you that. I can keep you alive. It's not nasty. It's edible. It's some flavor. It's just not one of those like, girl.
That's something everybody gonna say, ooh, let me go buy some of that.
Right, exactly.
Let me get her to make it out.
Let me
I'll pay you for that.
That part. I'm not there yet. Keyword on yet.
You keep us alive. You keep it.
That's it.
Oh, that's my song.
I'll let you
I love
enjoy your song. I love this song. This whole album is good.
That whole album, yes.
It's so good.
That's about, 20-some years old, isn't it?
Man, maybe about 30.
Maybe almost 30.
Because Fred did something and he mentioned the song Blessed. And he said, I feel like he said 30.
Almost 30.
Yeah. So it's definitely a good song of escape. Just that reminder that he's holding us. He's carrying us through. He is carrying us through the highs and the lows.
To the Lord for help, hear my cry.
Yes. So when we come back, I'm going to talk a little bit about business. So being a business owner, some of the challenges that you may have faced, and being a business owner, you can talk about Jazzy's and just the pivot from there if you want to. Your faith, how's your faith influence, which, you know, some of it is kind of self-explanatory just because of the songs, but it's kind of good to hear the narrative from the actual person. Okay. And then talk about some of your experiences on the, you know, the TV show when you did the cooking shows and stuff like that. I remember that. Like, she's on TV. She's on TV. And then what are some of your ambitions? What are some things that you know, are working on or things that you would like to do?
It's not too much I'm working on right now. Okay. Well, we have a place downtown, but it's like at a standstill, so I don't even want to mention.
Gotcha.
People are like, oh,
yeah. What's
going on with that?
Right. Yeah, only things
it's still in the works, but I can't tell you anything. I don't own the building, so that's it's hard for me to say.
Understood.
I'm just opening a restaurant in the building. Understood. It's gonna be beautiful now, I will say that.
If you do it, I know it is.
Almighty. Hear my cry, oh Lord. Rescue me, Lord Jesus. So you do this full time?
It's just Saturdays. Saturdays 1 to 2. So yeah, I was approached by Mr. Freddie Rhodes.
But you do your speech.
Yeah.
That's your
speech therapist. Yeah, full time. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I stepped out back in. Well, I left the school in June, so I work for myself full time.
Oh,
yeah.
Look
Own contracts and
that's right.
Yeah, we're building, so you're gonna be able to speak to that.
I know that's right.
Oh, I thought he was playing something else. I forgot about that bass line in that song. But yeah, it's new, so it's tight, you know. Mm-hmm. You know, as we first start something, it's like, okay, Jesus, and then he just reminds me, no, keep moving forward. You gotta trust me. This is a whole nother.
But being an entrepreneur definitely increases your faith.
Whew. Day by day.
Yeah.
Day by day, moment by moment. Yeah. You don't know
you
how.
Have to constantly speak over yourself that an increase is coming. Mm-hmm. Constantly.
And that was Hear My Cry by the one and only Mr. Fred Hammond. And if you're just now tuning in, you are listening to the In the Know radio show with your girl, Michellita Taylor. And I have in the studio Chef Celestia Mobley, the owner, founder, senior chef of Celestial Coastal Cuisine, founded back in 2017, located
on Dunn Avenue. 6765 Dunn Avenue.
6765 Dunn Avenue. If you have not been there, shame. But there's time for redemption. So make sure you go and check out her restaurant. She has incredible food. I mean, there's a lot of restaurants in Jacksonville, but let me tell you something. This is a jewel. It is worth the drive. Wherever you are coming from, you definitely will be driving back. Mm-hmm. And this is a good time of year because you may be able to get some of those Thanksgiving favorites or any of those things on the menu.
We are doing seafood dressing, seafood mac and cheese, regular dressing.
Whoa. Seafood mac and cheese.
It has crab meat and shrimp in it. It's really good.
Let me get my paper. Now this is a new one. Seafood mac and cheese. Okay. I need to stop by there on the way home. All right. Anything else?
Every day. So, okay. Collard greens, candied yams, sweet potato casserole. What else?
Okay, so most of the staple items are on the menu. Mm-hmm. So if again, these are things that you only eat during this time of year, or you may be like me, you're growing in your culinary skills, you can stop by. This is a time to place your order. I don't know, you might be too late, but you can always, give them a call and see up until Sunday. You can go ahead and place those orders. So Chef, I wanted to talk about just the risks that you took. So in this industry, I'm sure it's very risky because there's so much competition out there, and we're talking about food. And we're talking about people. So the indifference of people and the inconsistencies that can come whenever, you do a projection of this particular day, this is what we average, and this particular day, this is what we average. But then when it doesn't add up, you're still there with a business that you're trying to continue to grow and thrive. So tell us, first off, what made you want to open your own restaurant?
Well, it started as I wanted it to be my retirement plan. Okay. I was still at the Potter's House. And with it being a nonprofit, you want really have insurance. I mean, you know.
You need it more.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I said, okay, I'm gonna do a little small restaurant and just do it part time. That little Ford Escort, whatever, turned into a Cadillac Escalade.
Oh my goodness.
It took so much of my time, and I was like, I couldn't do both.
Right.
And so I had to eventually, after 6 months, I left Potter's House once I opened it. But it's been growing, and God has been really good with my business. We've had some times where it wasn't as good, but that's because I didn't really have my hands on it. It wasn't really, I went through a season where it's a lot.
Yeah, I had to take a little pause.
Yes. But now I'm back full force.
That's awesome.
It's increasing.
That's
I
great.
mean, my sales this year are like almost 30% more
Come
than
on.
they were last year.
Despite the ebbs and flows of this year in terms of the economy.
Yes. And so I'm so grateful. My customers are wonderful.
That's awesome.
And they're so supportive.
Which speaks to the quality of your food and your customer service. Because again, we, in our city and many cities, we're pretty spoiled. We have so many different options that we can go to. But when we do find that place, and I'll say this, I've been to places that first time was great and I would be so excited to go back. And that second time would be horrible. And then the third time would be horrible. So it's disappointing because you think you finally found that spot for this type of cuisine, but the consistency is lacking. And so for your customers to continue to come back over and over again.
Right. But I do understand, like other restaurateurs, I understand the problem with consistency.
Okay.
Because you can't be there all the time.
Right.
And most people don't take care of your place,
Like
your
you
baby,
do.
like you would. So like you say, oh, I came and the mac and cheese was delicious. And I came back and it was something right. It's because they're not putting the care. I promise you, every morning I taste my food. And if it's not right, I'm going to either adjust it or throw it away. Because I try my best to be consistent, but it's not always easy because I take vacations.
Yeah, as you should.
I'm not going. So I love, people who know me know I love my little vacations.
I've noticed it too.
But I pray, and right now my sister's really helping me a lot, and she does have that care like I do.
Yeah.
And so that's the biggest
The
struggle.
duplicating yourself. Having people to have the same love and passion that you do in your absence.
Right.
So that quality, how do you substitute for that? Or are you just finding yourself you're having to just kind of step up and be a little bit more available?
I have to be more available. And then I just pray that the people that I've taught to do that, they will follow the recipes and do what they're supposed to do.
And that's good. Thank you for sharing that, because that does give us as consumers more opportunity to be more graceful, because that is a lot.
It's a lot.
That is a lot. And our expectations, I want to go and get what I'm,
And that's what happens when someone opens another location or
Right.
They can't be at both of them.
That name is there, but what's inside is
It's
a little bit different.
Right. So we try. We try to make it.
So that's a pretty big challenge that you face, and thankfully you've been able to kind of find the balance, which I wanted to ask next is, how do you find the balance of being that business owner and then maintaining, that self-care, especially as a woman? We sometimes just put ourselves last when it comes to checking in with ourselves, whether it's our mental health or physical health, things that just make us smile. Whenever we have this, business that we're running, do you find that you have a pretty good ebb and flow and balance of those two things? And if not, what type of advice could you give to someone to where they can maybe pivot a little bit?
I have found the balance more so than I used to have, especially when I had my, when I was raising my daughter and my husband, and it was not so easy. But now I realize, even with exercise, things that you have to do: eat right, exercise, take care of yourself. It gives you more energy.
Yeah.
And that way you can work up until 9, 10 o'clock at night. And you can do more, but you have to take care of yourself first.
Yeah.
Because if you just work, you get burned down and you're not able to accomplish as much. So self-care is number one.
Yes.
Well, God is number one.
Right.
Self-care you know,
Yes.
it's up there. You
And
have
that
to.
food wouldn't taste good too. It would taste like stress food.
Mhm.
We don't want any stress food.
No.
So how do you know, and I ask all my guests this, and I always am curious as to the response, how do you know when your no is more important than your yes? Because we know those yeses can be very expensive.
Right.
So sometimes we have to
Yeah.
kind of give that no card.
And I don't think I do.
Mm.
Because I've always been a people pleaser.
Okay.
I've always been that one who wants everybody to love me and everything I do just to be perfect and everybody enjoy it. So it's hard for me to say no. It's so hard for me to say no.
Okay.
So I don't think I found it yet.
Mm.
But then God has put me in situations now where I don't have to worry about it as much.
Yeah.
When I was, younger, that was a big, but now it's kind of like, I don't even have to really, say no.
Yeah.
Because I don't have that as much as I did when I was younger.
And you know what? I think God loves us so much because He made us, number one. He knows our proclivities. He knows our weaknesses. It's almost like He helps us out. Where He's like, you know what? I already know she's going to say yes. So I'm not even going to present this opportunity to her.
I believe that.
I'm just going to put it over here so that way she doesn't have to make a decision that's probably not the best one because it should be a no.
Yeah.
But she's going to say yes, even though she has 15 things over here that already have been accounted for the yes. So He puts that aside. So that's a beautiful thing about God.
And then too, you know what I think too? As I get older, a lot of stuff that doesn't matter. I don't really care.
Yes, that's true.
It's like,
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
Okay, it's not gonna make that much a difference in my life. Now, as I get older, the important things to me are my daughter, my grandbaby.
Yeah.
As long as
Priorities
they're
are.
good, yeah, it's a lot of that don't really matter as much, and I thank God for that because I used to be,
Yeah.
stuff used to bother me so bad. Now,
I'm proud of you.
if somebody say something wrong, they say, "Oh, okay, I'll do my best to fix it next time." What can I do?
Because we're always growing. We're always evolving. We're always changing. We're always experiencing new things. And you've had some great experiences. I remember when you were on the Food Network. And, again, I think a lot of us who don't cook as well or as often, we love the Food Network because we get to enjoy other people who do all the time. So tell us, how was that experience?
Oh, it was so much fun.
Oh,
and when I did it, when I agreed to do it, I said, I'm going to just have fun with this.
Yes.
Because I was a nervous wreck. But I was like, I got to just have fun. I kept telling myself that.
Now tell us about that particular show. This is Food Network Guys Grocery Games. Is this the one when you're in the grocery store and you have to go and buy all the stuff?
Okay. You're running with the car and this, and it looks like a huge grocery store. It's really not.
Oh, it's not?
No.
How big is it?
Maybe about 5,000 square feet.
Okay.
It's not very big.
Okay.
No, it's maybe like a fourth of a real grocery store.
Oh, wow. Okay. Okay. I guess that makes sense for TV.
So I got a free trip to California.
Yeah.
So that was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, we went to San Jose, California. It was
Okay.
nice, beautiful. But it was interesting.
Now, did you have to cook with those ingredients?
I did.
What did you cook?
Everything that you see is. So it was a Thanksgiving episode.
Look at there. Okay.
And they said you had like 15 minutes to complete a dish. Say somebody was coming over the day before Thanksgiving, and you had to complete a dish really quick because you didn't know they were coming.
Oh, this is good.
And so you run through. You have to do your shopping in like 10 minutes.
What did you get? Do you remember what you got?
I did. I did shrimp and grits.
Oh, sure. Okay.
Yes,
That's smart.
I did, because grits, the quick ones don't take 5-10 minutes. And then when I put the cream and butter and all that stuff in that I put in it, they were pretty good. And then the shrimp take 4 minutes to cook. So I was able to get my meal done, and they loved it. I had no problems with that. What was the other one? Oh gosh.
Now, did you have the one meal that you had to cook, and then did they judge that, and then you go to the next round, or was it an automatic? You had 2 meals, so you won that round. Okay.
And I went to the next one, and then there was one where you had to cook your traditional Thanksgiving. I'm like, I can't cook no traditional Thanksgiving.
That takes some time.
In 10 minutes.
Right.
So what I did was I did collards.
Okay.
But I did them the quick way, where you just saute them like kale,
Yes.
how others like them. And so I did. I did that. I forgot what else I did. But they loved it.
Okay. Now, I like that idea, sauteing greens. Now, the type, I know greens can be really thick.
Yeah.
So, did they break down good enough, or were they kind of crunchy?
No, they were still a little.
You know, how when
they weren't tender.
They
like
was thinking,
what we,
that's the word I needed.
Yeah, but by the time you season them and everything, they were not bad.
Okay.
They were good.
Okay.
Actually, by the time I put the vinegar and sugar and different things in it, they had a good flavor.
Okay.
Even guys said I could eat a whole bowl of those. They were really good. But listen, while I was cooking them, they started burning.
Oh
I'm like,
no!
oh Lord, I'm like the Southern soul food, and I'm
Yes.
burning collard greens. But then it made it seem like you put smoked meat in it. So they, okay, thank you, Lord.
It's still working. And that's how you know you're a good cook, because even when your burnt food tastes like another skill set, and they buy into it, you just kind of say, "Yep, that's what I meant to do." See, I couldn't get away with that. They're like, these are just burnt. They're scorched. They are not tasty.
Oh Lord.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah,
so did you ultimately win?
No.
Oh man.
It was between me and another guy.
Ah.
And let me tell you, it was like they said, we want you to do an upscale Thanksgiving meal. I'm like, I know what Thanksgiving meal? I don't know no upscale. So then I said, well, maybe I could do like the turducken. I don't know if you've ever heard this. It's a turkey, duck, and a chicken all in one.
I've heard of that.
And it's cooked all in one. I've never cooked it, but I was like, okay, well, I could try to do something like that. So I'm running through the store, and then all of a sudden they turn the lights out. And they say, whatever you have in your cart now is what you have to cook.
What did you have?
It's horrible. And I'm like, no. I had like 2 sweet potatoes. I had what I thought was turkey breast. It wound up being like the whole turkey leg and thigh. And I was like, I've lost this.
But you didn't know. I'm sure you would have won. If you had all the ingredients that were in there, you would have nailed that.
Yeah, I would have.
Well, speaking of ingredients, it says here that you are an author of Southern Goodness. Tell us about this cookbook and where can we find it?
You can get it on Amazon.
Okay.
And I'm sold out right now. But normally I have them for sale. And I'll have some before Christmas.
Okay.
But yeah, you can get it on Amazon. It has some really good traditional. I mean, I even have hogshead cheese in there.
Oh, wow.
I know you probably.
You listen. I've heard of it. I've heard of a lot of. I become a big girl here. Remember, I eat a lot.
So I have hogshead cheese, chitlins, all the stuff that I don't eat that.
Right, but all
all
the
the stuff that
options.
you grow up with.
Yeah.
I have it in there that I had to learn how to cook because my
You had to learn how to.
he loves all of that. Yeah, and so but mac and cheese, everybody says it's like the best mac and cheese they've eaten.
Okay.
That they've made themselves, and it's very easy. So it's very user friendly.
Awesome. So they can get the book to be prepared for Christmas, not for Thanksgiving. So again, we're just trying to put in a couple of nuggets to prepare some last minute, treats and some side dishes and preparation for you for Thanksgiving. But for Christmas, we have some good instructions in terms of talking to our family members who may have those dietary restrictions, those who may have vegan preferences, and then you have this cookbook that you can go ahead and pick up ahead of time for Christmas. And again, it's called Southern Goodness, Southern Goodness by Celestia Mobley. All right, so we have one more song that we're going to listen to that is the chef's favorite go-to song, and that song is one of my favorites, and I'm sure one of your favorites as well to the listening audience, and that's Gyra. Why is that one of your faves?
It's one of my recent faves.
Okay.
It just resonates to me, especially when it says, "I'll take care of you." The ending part of it when it says, like the birds, I take care of the sparrows, or something like that. But that's my favorite part.
If he's taking care of animals and the grass, he's definitely going to take care of us.
And it just gives me peace.
That's good.
I know that he's right there with me.
He is with us in the good times, the bad times, the hills and the valleys. We can take heart in knowing that Jehovah Jireh is with us. So enjoy this song, Jireh. How you feeling?
The This is the place to be. Turn your radio station to victory. But the Spirit of the Lord is liberty. Tune in to the station that set you free. Woo! We going up right now. Please tune in, don't touch that dial. We so blessed that you wanna know how, not talking. We just living out loud.